Here we go, we're under the lights in Marina Bay for round 14 of the championship, the penultimate round, where we've already crossed off one of the championships, Kangakan taking the driver's title last time round in Spain. But we're not done yet. The Constructors' Championship is still at stake, and it's all to play for between Williams and McLaren, just 4 points in it. But it couldn't be closer, and it's anyone's game at the moment as we prepare for the only night race on the calendar around Singapore. Top speeds are over 210 kilometers per hour. That's a little bit more than the top speed of Singaporeans, the fastest pedestrians in the world. It's a track that's got little room for error, but lots of room for overtaking if you make the right moves. 3.146 miles long and skyscrapers surrounding you as you go. It's a true spectacle to behold. 23 turns and 2 DRS zones make sure we're presented with yet another track that surprises our way, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a safety car or two and a wet weather race to mix up the minds of those on the pit wall as well. Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome to round 14 of this season 13 here. We've done 13 races, 2 more to go in this thrilling season indeed. Now, last time out in Spain, we crowned a champion indeed. XL Kangakan had a back-to-back podium, and that helped him seal the championship title there in Spain. Jasper put up an impressive fight, but it was not enough to thwart the domination that Kangakan has had over this season. However, it's not all over just yet. We've had a change in driver lineup, and there's a close battle brewing for third within the driver standings. Looking at the driver lineup, Mert is back. He's going around his tour of the paddock, and this time he's back with Alpine. And what can he do? He's had 2 podiums since his return. Will it be a third this evening? Williams, Tane is in, Delange is out. Tane new to the league and definitely new to PCF1, finds himself locked in to a battle with McLaren. As you can see there, the constructors' standings, 153 points to Williams, 149 to McLaren. Who will come out on top? Williams can win it tonight. There's a multitude of permutations, and it might just go their way indeed. As you can see, the drivers are getting ready for qualifying, and there's a whole lot of things that could happen this evening. But one thing for sure, qualifying is of paramount importance around a tight, tricky street circuit such as Marina Bay in Singapore, as we now look to get in game. Wow, I can't wait for this one. Last time out in season 12, when it was Fozzy and I, we were covering PC F2, we had a championship decided during Marina Bay. It was a 3-way battle. It's not the same this time around, but it's not far off indeed in the constructors anyway. And yeah, it could be interesting. The cars are just looking to leave the garage now. And we do see a Red Bull out there. I believe that was Liam Markham, or it might be Bashi. It's Bashi indeed, as he heads out of the pits to start his first outlap. Yeah, Singapore, interesting track. The only night race on our calendar this year. So the drivers have been used to driving in the lovely sunshine weather. And, well, hopefully no rain to be had just yet, especially not in qualifying, but it could be during the race. You're never too far away from needing an umbrella here at Invictus Racing League. Just give you a few little information on 2 driver changes. Curlin has left the league. Owners Viming has also dropped to F2 for the final 2 races, which means Haas just have Edu at the moment. And as I mentioned earlier, Mert is back once more, driving for Alpine. He drove for Williams, then drove for Mercedes, and he's back for Alpine in his reserve stint. And he is doing a mega job there, having 2 P3s in the last 2 races, which has helped whichever team he's been on at that time. And he is actually within the battle, within that region for taking 3rd place in the drivers' standings. And he might just do that come the end of the season. We don't know whether he's been around next race, but he can make the most of being around this time. Fozzy. Marina Bay, fun circuit, but also an easy one to find yourself in a wall, isn't it? Yeah, especially if the rain makes an appearance as well. I'm going to ride on board with Edu, the first driver to start a flying lap, and he's on winning form. He won last time around in Spain as well. He's currently 8th in the championship on 44 points. Let's see if he can extend that Tonight, as we go on for the first flying lap of the qualifying session, it's a long run down to this quite tight and kind of hard to get wrong chicane section of the track, but Edu seems to, well, he's backed out of that because he's already made a mistake in those first few corners, invalidated the lap, so he's going to save those tyres, and he's going to abort that lap, so that probably wasn't the best lap to ride on board with, but it does look like Marcus will be going to do a flying lap soon. He's the next driver to come up to the line, so I'm going to follow Marcus this time around and see if we can get a bit further than turns 1 and 2. The Alfa Romeo driver who's been with us well, right from the start of the season, although it wasn't the best start to the season for him. Brazil and Australia, it was 2 DNFs for him. He's had a further 2 since then, one of which was last week as well. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is Edu getting out of the way of people, but Marcus has made it through turns 1, 2, 3 and 4 as we come up to the right-hander, which sends you down to Raffles Boulevard. Looks like Bashi's retired from the session. Had an issue down at turn 10.
Oh, yes.
Has the Alpha Tauri. Yeah, that sounds like it's been a big issue if he's had that incident. But like I say, I'm still riding on board with Marcus, who has just set a purple Sector 1. We haven't got any times on the board at the moment anyway, so it doesn't actually take too much to set a purple Sector 1. But it is around turn 9. And Cameron, do you want to take us through the end of this lap for us, please?
Yes, heading in to turn 10 now through Sector 2. A lovely section here. It's all about balancing of the car through here and then getting really close to this wall on the right hand side. There we go, almost clocking the tyre, but lucky to not. There's all about drive out of that corner there. Turn 13, sorry. And it looks like Marcus has left the session, so we're now riding on board with him here. We've had a few interesting occurrences so far during tonight's stream. Do apologise about the intro there. There's a bit of a miscommunication error using our digital resources. But Emir is not having any error. He's setting a purple Sector 2 as he comes through this section that I do get find myself in the wall here. There is a chance of an overtaking move just into this tunnel, but you've got to be careful, and careful is what Emir hasn't been. The Dane has validated this lap. We'll ride on board just for the remainder of this lap through turn 22 and 21, heading through 22 and 23. Now the final corner, it's not really a corner over the line. It's not a lap time that's going to be on the board because he's invalidated, and that seems to be an issue so far. Let's ride on board with Tane, the number 8 Williams, joining us this evening, new to the league, and finds himself propelled straight in to a constructors battle here at Marina Bay. So there's any track worth making your debut on, and any situation worth debuting on. Wow, he is being propelled into a constructors fight at a difficult track, an easy one to make mistakes, but Tane's not making mistakes. He's going straight to the top of provisional pole there with a 1:35.966. That's well, that's incredibly quick actually, about 7 tenths quicker than the medium tyre, and now incredibly quicker than Liam Markham, who's done a 1:36.592, and that's about 6 tenths difference there. So an absolute flying lap from Tane, and really putting his stamp on his seat so far at Williams, as Marcus has joined back, and we will hopefully be able to ride on board with him later. Adam, the last time's PC F2 champion. In fact, he decided his championship here, in fact, back in Season 12. This must feel quite nostalgic for the driver being back in Singapore, and unfortunately not in this championship fight. He joined very late in the season, but he can help Mercedes in the constructors, and importantly, get ahead of his teammate, which is all that inter-team battle there going around the start of Sector 2. It's all about the motion of the car here. It's all about getting the balance right. You don't want to overcook your tyres for in Sector 1 and 2, so you don't have any in Sector 3. It's just all about give and take, and give and take has not happened there, as that looks like a car towards turn 13, I believe, there, who has found himself either offline or in trouble in some other ways, and there is a yellow flag, Fozzy.
Yeah, I think it was the Williams driver just trying to get out of the way of Liam Markham, who was going for a flying lap. Liam Markham has invalidated this lap, so it's not going to count to get him any further up on the board. But Cameron, it's looking really strong for Williams and constructors today. We know how consistent Kangaskhan can be, and with the other driver joining us today as well, then they're in a really good position to bring home some points and potentially claim that constructors title tonight. So I'm interested to see how qualifying lines up for Williams and how they take their qualifying form further forward into the race as well. But we've got a time from 7 drivers on the grid at the moment. The likes of, 8 drivers now, as someone else just pops up there. I think that might have been Adam in the Mercedes outfit, lining up P6 and 7 at the moment. Likely to change over the course of the next 10 minutes. Jasper and Marcus, like we say, still without a time on the board. Cameron?
Yeah, so just going back to that championship battle that's going on, bear in mind we only have one McLaren in qualifying, and for the evening I believe RST was unable to make it, unfortunately, so that just helps Williams a little bit more in that fight. And it could be, well, we had one championship wrapped up last time, and it could be another one this week, and double championships for Williams is the goal. They've got the drivers, they just need that constructors, but it has been hardly contested since McLaren changed their lineup earlier on in the season, and it's been ever so close ever since, really, as we see a couple cars. Cass heading out from the pits. Bit of an interesting pit exit as well here at Singapore, Fozzy.
Jeremy Clarkson had a bit of an issue coming out of turn 4. I cut to when he was facing the wrong way on the track. Luckily, no big damage in qualifying, but that wouldn't have been great for him. He's on 2 lap old softs at the moment, the same as his teammate. And as I said, they remain in P6 and 7, looking to try and maybe get up to 3rd, which is where the team lie in the constructors at the moment. There's been numerous drivers for Mercedes this season, and they are about 30 points it is behind McLaren, so quite a lot of work to do, and they might need some miracles to happen should they wish to get any further up towards taking the Constructors' Championship, but I don't think that's going to be happening. Alpine, they are less than 20 points behind Mercedes, so they've got a bit of a buffer either side of them, but nonetheless they'll want to be getting a little bit further ahead from where they currently stand on the qualifying timing tower.
Amir out on the soft tyres, just on his outlap now. Both Red Bulls seem to be, well, one hasn't set a time and one hasn't set a representative time, and there is Mercedes also getting very squirrely on the traction zone there. But Amir is setting up for an outlap. We had a couple medium runners, they've since aborted, but incredibly so, Excel Mert has, I believe, set that lap on a medium tyre, so that is very impressive for him. Also, being that close to the pole provisional time means that if he does switch to softs, then he's going to be lightning fast. But I'd be wanting to stick on the mediums. Better race tyre all in all. And there's a yellow flag for Daigoro heading towards the end of sector 1, getting out the way of another car who's on a flying lap, and Amir now looks to start his flying lap. But let's see what the Red Bull could do. It's been a great week if you're a Red Bull fan, and it could be a great week for these Red Bull drivers as well, as long as they qualify well and help themselves potentially overtake, get closer to Alpine, who's currently sitting 4th in the Constructors. And yes, interesting so far for Red Bull. They've sort of been there or thereabouts throughout the season, but have never ever really shown a true sort of dominant force that they could take the championship, and unfortunately find themselves down in P5. Amir finds himself setting purple sectors at the moment, as through sector 1 he set the timing scores alive. There is a yellow flag, sector 1. That might just be a car getting out of the way or going a bit on the runoff into turn 3, but we're still right on board with Amir. Lovely corner coming up. It's all about the margin of error, and toward the margin of error there's not much around here at all, and this is the brilliant corner. Look how close he gets that wall there on the braking zone as well, and you don't want to take off any tyres. Mastarius just hanging to the left side, allowing Amir to get through cleanly. Amir not want to take any of the slipstream, and Mastarius will rejoin behind him, setting another purple sector for Amir there. The daring Dane looks to potentially take provisional pole here, as with 7 minutes left of this qualifying session of round 14 of season 13 PC F1 here, Marina Bay in Singapore. What can Amir do through this tight, twisty section? The car will be, its tyres will be burning, and just trying to struggle to get the last elements of grip you can out of those Pirelli soft tyres as close to the wall as possible around the final couple corners, which I take as one major corner, and across the line, and he goes provisional pole with a 1:35.360, 6 tenths difference between him and Tane. I think there's a lot of lap time to come from the rest of the drivers here, Fozzy.
Yeah, quite a bit of a buffer zone there. Cass has just gone up to P2, a 1:35.6, still 3 tenths behind Amir. That was a stellar lap by Amir, maybe taking some of that Red Bull winning form from the real world, bringing it forward to the Invictus Racing League. Let's see what his teammate can do, who is currently on a lap. Maya down in P11 with a 1:40.7. It's not a fully representative time. Let's see as he crosses the line. Well, it's a full Red Bull lockout. That would be great news if you're a Red Bull fan. Let's see if it changes over the next 5 minutes. But as we go into the closing stages of qualifying, that's exactly what Red Bull want.
Indeed, Liam Markham also up there for the Junior Rebel team, P4 currently. And Cass, once again, a driver that we've seen in the top 5 plenty of times this season in qualifying, just has struggled during the races with luck not necessarily going his way. Remember that 1-2 all the way back in France for Alpine. And, well, let's see if Cass can improve. There is about 3 attempts in it, and potentially provisional pole position. And Tane incredibly ahead of Kangaskhan at the moment, who seems to have just not zhowed in. Since winning the championship, a lot less pressure, just the constructors, but he's got the title that means the most to him, and now it's up for them to seal the other title and take the other trophy. And yeah, it seems to be that Tane is leading the way as Cass is invalidating his laps and will surely look to pit. 5 minutes left, enough time to get in box and get some new tyres on, as Mustaris has had enough of this qualifying session and has retired from it with about 5 minutes to go. Currently sitting P10, that's the best he'll get, and I don't know whether that was out of choice or whether by force there, Fozzy.
Yeah, Adam is setting a nice lap time at the moment in the Mercedes. Coming down in P11, it's not a purple sector 2, but he's got clean air in front of him all the way to turn 20. So let's see how he can do as he goes through sector 3 now. It's a tight, twisty sector, as is, to be honest, most of his track. It's what you get on street circuits, and he cuts it close to the advertising hoarding. Now it's a sharp left, under the grandstand, switch it back to the right, kissing the curb as you go over it through the sponsored corner. I'll let you guess what company sponsors it. And then you've only got, what like Cameron said, one long, big corner to go. Turn 22 and 23, which is sort of a double apex across the line, and it is only P9 for the Mercedes driver. Might not have been what he was wanting. He might have wanted to get a little bit higher than that, Cameron. Yeah,
indeed. Mercedes currently sitting 3rd in the championship. As you said, a bit of a gap between them and McLaren, but not that much of a gap between them and Alpine. And Alpine currently seem to just be edging away, with Merckx obviously back with Alpine, and Cass as well in P3, as ahead of both Mercedes at this moment of time. And yeah, I wonder for Adam whether he just didn't get the tyres in the window, whether he just didn't get the flow. Certain drivers just have certain tracks which are, you know, just seem to be a bit rogue to them. They don't seem to get the flow of the track. The only Haas out on track is setting purple sectors, and that is Edu. Owen moved down to PC F2, I believe, and now the 66 car is looking to challenge for provisional pole position with just under 3.5 minutes to go. As a purple sector 2, all about hooking up the final lap, not overcooking your tyres early on and getting that change of direction, which is so potent in a Formula 1 car. And as you said, just easing your way onto the curbs, not to unsettle the car. You don't want to spin, you want to get as close to that wall, carrying the speed all the way through the corner. Double apex through 22 and 23, then hanging straight to the line, and that looks to be P5 for Edu, an improvement, but yes, unfortunately not into the top 3, but stays in the top 5, and that is good news for Haas, who are currently with 63 points, 6th in the standings, although it's going to be difficult when Red Bull, their nearest competitor, currently P5, are currently sitting 1-2 on the timing tower, but Ferrari are behind them, and Daigoro is hanging on the fringes of the points positions on the grid, and Daigoro's retired from this session. As I've said, that's brilliant time, isn't it? But Edu then just on a recharge lap. I wonder if he's going to box again, or whether he's going to stay out, do a cool down lap and push once more.
Jasper setting purple sector 2 on the medium tyres, yet to set a time on the lap board. He's the only one of the running cars who's yet to set a lap time, so he's looking to try and get up there towards the front row, and at the moment, based on that sector 2, he's doing a very good job at doing so. He just needs to keep it together through the final few corners, and he hasn't. He's just touched the wall through turn 19 there, but I don't think he's lost too much time, and he goes a little bit squiggly through 21 as well. It's double apex. Oh, and he's losing the back end. The tyre temperature's not quite there. It's only P7. It lost it in that final sector, did Jasper. Maybe if he's got time, he'll go again, but I don't think he's going to have time.
That car did look on the edge throughout the entirety of that lap. They're squirming all over the place. Oversteer, understeer, all kinds of steer. Just not the steering he wanted, unfortunately. But Jasper currently will start P7 with the medium tyre. Remember, Fozzy, he is on that medium. No other driver currently is on the medium tyre, and as long as he stays in there, he could be potent in the race. As I don't know, a bit of unsportsmanship going on there between I think that was Liam Markham and Jasper. Jasper not wanting to get out of the way just immediately, and Liam Markham sort of squiggling his wheel in a bit of aggression there. But Liam Markham currently P4. It's all about getting close to the walls but not touching them, and that might just be what unsettled Jasper during you're in that moment. The minute left of qualifying. It's all to play for still. It's currently Amir sitting on top, P1 with a 1:35.360, with his teammate, the Daring Dane, Meyer, behind him by 3/10, Fozzy.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic for Red Bull. The most points they've scored in a single round this season has been 12 points, but the junior team might do quite good as well, because Liam Markham's just set a purple sector 2 on soft tyres. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him now. Hopefully they will get out of the way, but let's see what Liam Markham can do. He's got yellow flags, that is just drivers getting out of the way. Jeremy Clarkson takes provisional pole with a 1:35.2 ahead of the 2 Red Bulls, dislodges their front row start. Let's see though what the AlphaTauri drive can do. He's got 2 more corners to go. He's turned in early, but is he going to help him get further up from P5? It is, and he goes onto the second row of the grid alongside the other Red Bull, and in between both Red Bulls in fact. It's P3 for Liam Markham at the moment, Cameron.
Indeed, Mir looking to challenge that lap time set by Jeremy Clarkson. Speed and power it was certainly for Clarkson there. Mir currently P2. He was de-shoveled down to P2 via Jeremy Clarkson. And will he be able to set that lap time to take provisional pole? Markham currently at P3. Meyer still in P4. And now as he comes across the line, what's it going to be? Meyer jumps to P2, but not pole position. Can Amir better that? He does better that and takes provisional pole position with a 1:35.192. Cass on a flying lap as well. Can he cross the line and take the ultimate prize in qualifying? Provisional pole, just a couple more corners to go. The car doesn't seem to be with him here, Fozzy. It seems to be a little bit less wanting to turn in compared to that Red Bull, which looked like it was on roller skates in certain corners. Going around the final couple corners now. What can Cass do? He crosses the line. It's P4, but it is not pole position here in Singapore. Tane going around on a flying lap as well. The new Williams driver, new to the league, new to PCF1, and currently ahead of Kangaskhan. Can he take pole position? He had it earlier on. Provisional pole at the start of the session with a lightning fast time, and he gets all squirrely all over the place. Mert takes provisional pole. Tane will not take provisional pole with that kind of attitude to the car. He almost loses it across the line. He goes P7, but Mert is P1. He comes back once more as a reserve duty driver, and he's showing he has what it takes to be a permanent fixture on the grid. Season 12's champion has not left at all, and although this championship's decided, it's Mert who's in the prime seat for the race in season 13, Fozzy.
Yeah, the only one who can deny him is Liam Markham, but he's aborted that lap and into the pits. So that is your grid for the race. It is Mert on pole. It was a Red Bull 1 and 2. It's now a Red Bull 2 and 4. Jeremy Clarkson sandwiched between those 2 Red Bulls. The Alpine of Cass of in P5. A slightly anomaly result for Kangaskhan, someone we're used to seeing quite high up, down in P6. Liam Markham, good qualifying by him. P7. Tane on debut goes P8. And then Edie and Jasper DNF from the session. Jasper starting on the mediums, down in P10. Adam didn't manage to finish his final flying lap. He starts in P11, then it's Digoro, Mystarius, Bashi and Marcus to round off the latter 2, not setting a lap time this session.
Indeed. What a lightning lap from Mert there. And that kind of pace. Also, Mercedes, Jeremy Clarkson and Adam didn't look like they were anywhere at all in that early stint of the qualifying session, but they seem to be back in that pacey sort of thing we're used to seeing there. 5/10 gap between Jeremy Clarkson and pole position. Unfortunately, Adam down in P11, but that is strategic pole position, and that will allow him to have free tyre choice on what a track which can be quite harmful when it comes to tyre wear. But Jasper is one to look out for. Starting P10 on the mediums, 2 laps done on those medium tyres. That will still be a great tyre advantage heading into this race compared to those who are starting on the soft tyres. But it is the Englishman, Mert, season 12 champion for PCF1. Will start on pole, lined up by the Daring Dane, who's, wow, just sandwiching Jeremy Clarkson with another Danish driver behind them. Red Bull look to be in the prime seat this evening for taking a potential win and helping them massively in that Constructors' Championship against the likes of Alpine. Williams, meanwhile, might have to wait one more race before they can challenge for the title in the Constructors. But never say never. Miracles can happen, such as Christian Horner had a miracle last week, and it could happen to anyone this week here in Singapore as we look to get ready for the cars to take to the track. We haven't had any update on weather, I don't believe, Fozzy, but from what I can see, using the eyes in the commentary box, it seems to be all dry.
Well, I've had a chat with the guys over at the Met Office, and they say it's all dry throughout this race, so we shouldn't have to worry about too much on the weather front. It's not what we had last time we commentated here. Last time, if you remember rightly, Cameron, it was a little bit wet, and it threw up quite an interesting race. But I don't think we need rain to have an interesting race. When the walls are so close to the edge of a track and the track limits are as close as they are, safety cars are likely, and there's a high chance of seeing a safety car on the opening lap here, and there's a high chance of seeing a safety car on the remaining 30 laps as well. It's all to play for here as we just wait for the drivers to finalise their setup on the grid, and then we'll be getting underway with the formation lap.
Yeah, and just to run you through the permutations, which have been provided by Liam. So if the maths is wrong, don't blame us in the commentary box. It's fine, not our problem. We're here to shout at cars, not do the maths. But currently, Williams, if they have P1, P2 plus fastest lap, and McLaren are 9th and 10th or lower, then Williams will be your constructors' champions. Same with their P1 and P2, and McLaren score 10th or lower. And they're also, if Williams are P1 and P3, and have the fastest lap, and McLaren score 10th or lower, then they will be your champions. And also, if Williams are P1 and P3, and McLaren doesn't score, then that will seal the deal for Williams. McLaren only have the one car in tonight, and Williams need to outscore by around 24 points, I believe, and that could be done if we see the pace of Kangaskhan and Tain unleashed in the 31 laps around Marina Bay. But who will make it to the end of the 31 laps? This season has been a season of attrition for many drivers, one in which many haven't got to the end. In fact, I believe every driver apart from the newcomers has DNF once in this season. Isn't that correct, Fozzy, Mr. Statsman? I believe that is
yeah, everyone who's joined us since the start of the season has had at least one DNF. For Kangaskhan, he's only had well, just for one DNF, and that was back in Canada. RSD and Jasper, who both joined us in round 4, that was in Silverstone. Jasper yet to DNF in any of the races that he's joined us from, but he didn't join us from the start of the season. His teammate, RSD, did DNF also with Kangaskhan in Canada. So between the top 3 drivers, in every race they've competed in, there's only been 2 DNFs. Let's see if that changes tonight. For Merck, as we say, the reserve driver stepping in to the Alpine, starting on pole position. He'll be leading us around the remainder of this formation lap. All the cars just making their way across the Anderson Bridge, and we've seen in qualifying just how close people get to the barrier there. I suspect we'll see people getting a little bit close to that throughout the race as well. The one thing with this qualifying session that we have is that we don't quite get an idea for race pace, so we don't know who's going to have the better race pace. We also don't know what strategies people are thinking of as well. We suspect we'll probably go for a very similar strategy, but if there is going to be rain, that might throw things into the air. But I don't think we're going to see any rain, but I reckon we might see a safety car. Yeah, talking strategy, let's talk tyres. Adam starting on the hard tyres, as well as Marcus and the rest of those outside the top 10, including Jasper, starting on the medium tyres. So, but a difference in tyre strategy could come into play later on in the race, but for now it's all about getting that good getaway from the line here in Singapore. Excel Mert, Season 12 champion, leads us to the grid blocks. And what can our current champion do? Excel Kangaskhan. We've seen him, well, excel through drives from the midfield towards the front. Multiple podiums have come when he hasn't actually qualified on pole, and that could be the situation this evening as we wait for the final couple cars to join us. You are watching Invictus Racing League Season 13 PC F1 Round 14, the penultimate round here in Singapore. And as we wait for the lights to engage, there we go, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, couple races to go, and round 14 is underway, and it's a great getaway for Mert. He leads us into turn 1, but Amir has jumped him on the inside. It's even a better getaway for the Red Bull driver. Red Bull take the lead in the first corner, and incredibly Excel Mert has managed to hold on, but what a move by Amir there. Jeremy Clarkson holding on to P3, Cass being alongside Meyer as we head towards what would be the first DRS zone. Is not the case until lap 3, and can Meyer gain on Cass and make a move into this next corner? Meyer on the outside, the Alpine on the inside, the Cass defends well, Fozzy. Yeah, Liam Markham had to go a little bit wide at the start, but it was a great start for Amir. Oh, and there's a traffic jam in Singapore as cars collect themselves through turn 8 there. It looked like that was Cass dropping down positions, losing his front wing. Not great for the Alpine driver. Let's see what he can do as we go into this race. He's going to be on another strategy. Someone else who is on another strategy is Adam, starting in the Mercedes, obviously, but on the hard tyres. He dropped a few positions, but then managed to gain a few again throughout the first few corners. But for Merck, it's not been the best start. Amir's already made up almost 7/10 of a gap to the Alpine driver. So let's see if he can extend that gap even further. Liam Markham dropping a few positions there as well. He's getting overtaken by Edu. It's all kicking off in Singapore.
Indeed, Liam Markham, I believe, made contact with Cass, and I reckon he might have some bargeboard damage, if not wing damage, to contend with for the rest of this race. If it's wing damage, he can repair that. If it's the latter, or sorry, the bargeboard damage or the sideboards, then that will cause greater issues. But what isn't causing greater issues is Amir's pace, almost a second in the first lap, taking the fastest lap. Obviously, you will do it, having crossed the line first. But as we head on to lap 2 of 31, it's Rebel in P1 and P4, and there is a change of position for Daigoro and Jasper, the Ferrari on the medium tyres, and so is Jasper. Behind them, Adam on the medium tyres is currently where he started, sorry, on the hard tyres, and that grip differential might just be a bit of an issue for Adam. PC F2 Season 12 champion, decided here in Singapore, currently not going his way so far, Fozzy.
Yep, Adam just doesn't seem to have been able to get the tyres up to temperature. He's been all over the track and he's almost making contact with Jasper there, is Adam. So hopefully he'll be able to get those tyres through this phase which he's currently going through and be able to get a little bit further up the field and you know, take this strategy to the others and see what he can do with that later on in the race. But at the moment he's just outside the points, following Jasper, who himself has been having a bit of a funky race as well. Oh, and Adam nearly losing it going across the Anderson Bridge there. Just the temperature doesn't seem to be in those tyres, doesn't have the grip. Meanwhile, up at the front, Amir has got almost 8/10 on Merck now, so he's gained over that last lap. Will he be able to keep those tyres going, or is he going to take too much life out of them in these opening stages? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, his positions being switched at the back there. Bashi getting past Mastaris. I didn't quite see how that was. Both of those drivers on the medium tyres. Bashi now trying to catch up to Adam, who, as I said, is on the hard tyres. About half the grid at the moment has remained in the position that they started in. The best improver, Daigoro, up 3 positions, Cameron.
Daigoro up 3 positions, could be up another. Liam looks to be not in contention for this race. Look how wide he's going. He does not have the downforce nor the grip in that car.
Oh,
and Daigoro is making an easier pass. Meanwhile, Jasper into the pit lane, but it's Daigoro up to 8, up 4 position race started. Markham down 2, and Jasper in the pits. Is that due to an early wing change issue? Yes, it is. Look at that, putting on the new wing onto the hard tyres, committing to the 1-stop, and that has been a bit of an issue for McLaren in this constructors fight. But Kangaskhan already up a position race started, and he's got his eyes on the daring Dane of Meyer in that Red Bull. And Tane also behind him. It's a Williams P5 and P6, both drivers up at least 1 position from where they started, and they could be on a charge towards the front of the field here, Fozzy. But Meyer now looking to just stretch away, use the long wheelbase difference on the Red Bull and the Williams, going over the curbs there. You see the sparks being chucked up into the camera. Beautiful scenes in Singapore. It is a lovely track and a lovely atmosphere every time we come here. Now it's 4/10 between Meyer and Kangaskhan, and will Tane look to play the team game here, or will he be wanting to one-up his teammate in his first outing with Williams? We'll just have to see as the laps are coming down, as we're already on lap 3 of 31. DRS was enabled this lap, and Meyer now, yeah, as you just see, just doesn't seem to have that cornering ability. Meanwhile, Kangaskhan's faring quite well, even with the dirty air being so potent in Singapore, Fozzy.
Yeah, Kangaskhan really being able to stay with Meyer through this tight, twisty part of the track. Meyer had a moment coming out of turn 8 where he just lost the back end, and then coming into 16, I think he had a bit of a lock-up as well. But he has managed to gain a few more temps on Kangaskhan, who's going to have to take another lap to chase down the Red Bull driver. We'll have to see if he can use the DRS down Raffles Boulevard and into turn 6 and 7.
Adam does that and into turn 1, but he goes offline, going wide, had to let Liam back through. He had the DRS and the pace advantage, just didn't have the grip on the hard tyres with the brakes, and that opens him up now to Bashi, the other AlphaTauri, looking to get in the mix, nose to tail here, as now DRS is used once more. Liam will be a sitting duck on the straights, he takes the outside, Adam going up the inside, and will the other AlphaTauri look to go alongside Liam Markham? He does. A late dive, there's rubbing of tyres, and Liam Markham manages to hold P10. Bashi now around the outside and takes that position from Liam. Bashi lucky to keep it going in a straight line. He had an almighty issue of oversteer just a few seconds ago, and now looks to chase down Adam. Liam losing 2 more positions, and Adam maintaining into P9, up 2 from where he started, but Bashi seems to be on a drive already up 4, and it could be on for taking P9 away from Adam, who Adam looked like he couldn't get the car just slowed down quick enough there, and he will have DRS, and there goes Liam Markham, lucky to keep that one going. It was almost 90 degrees in the wrong direction. Mystarius now sees a golden opportunity opening up to overtake the 88 car. The Aston Martin driver will look to do that shortly, but currently it's Bashi who is chasing down Adam. Adam seems to just not be settling in to this track as much as he'd like, and it's the mediums versus the hards, and currently, Fossey, you'd have to say the mediums are the creme de la creme here.
And I imagine that's what Maya's going to be going on to. Into the pits comes Red Bull driver at the start of lap 5. Quite early on those soft tyres. I thought he would have gone a little bit longer, maybe towards lap 6 and 7. But let's have a look. Yes, it is the yellow rimmed tyres going on to that Red Bull. So let's see what he can do as we go into the next few laps. But there's a right train going on at the back there, isn't there? Like Adam, Bashi, Liam, Mystarius and Marcus as well, all right up with each other, looking to make moves. Liam Markham just not happy on that set of tyres. Every time I come to him, he seems to be losing the back end. Maybe the temperatures just aren't in the window that he wants them to be.
He was involved in a lap 1 collision. I believe that might be damage on his car, which is limiting him there. Could be diffuser damage, and that would provide an answer. But what is providing an answer is Mystarius, and Liam locks up on the inside line, pushes Mystarius right. Mystarius does take the position from Liam, and they're still battling now. Liam looking to hold on to that final points paying position. Liam up the inside, Mystarius around the outside, and gets an almighty drive, and Mystarius takes P10. Liam Markham remains P11 with Marcus to contend from as well. The Alfa Romeo seems to be getting in on the action. Markham is just falling down the line here. I do believe he has some car damage which cannot be repaired in the pits, remember, on the PC F1 game, and if it is diffuser damage around a street track, then you're in for a troublesome evening. Lap 5 of 31. I'd imagine Liam is feeling the pain already on lap 5 and wishes to be over shortly, but Marcus also having almighty speed, looking to slow down his Alfa Romeo in time there. He's a bit of a driver we don't really see too much of, but he is driving really well. Unfortunately, has a few game issues every now and then, with disconnected during qualifying and popped back in, which might have harmed him to set his almighty pace. But it's now Daigoro and Tin as Kangaskhan enters the pits. All the rest of the soft runners looking to box now, which means Daigoro is P2. Meanwhile, Tane goes for one more lap on those soft tyres. The temperatures must be overwhelming in that Williams, but he's still keeping it on the road, keeping it where it needs to be. And currently it's Williams 1 and McLaren are very much in trouble here this evening, Fozzy.
Yeah, it's not looking good for McLaren at all, is it? Especially with just a one driver being able to race tonight. But a lot of those soft runners, as you say, all coming in to the pits. There's a mixture of hards, there's a mixture of mediums coming out of the pit lane. So all sorts of strategy going on here.
Daigoro just took the lead from the race. Both drivers haven't stopped, and it was a nice move into the braking zone. Tane locked up on those hard-worn soft tyres that must be feeling the heat now, and unfortunately was unable to maintain the position. Daigoro, though, still has the pace on those medium tyres. Up 11 position where he started, but that's because half the grid have boxed, of course, so that does inflate those figures just a little bit. But Tane is looking already to be out of that second window on that soft tyre, Fuzzy. It hasn't managed to keep on this one. That cliff has came, and those tyres have fallen off that cliff. Can Daigoro go on, show his pace, use the overcut, and potentially be within a chance of winning this race, if not a top 5 position, as Adam currently P4 on those hard tyres. He will be going the longest of any driver here in this stint, probably looking to go onto the soft tyres right at the end. So the pain comes now, but the relief will hopefully be worth it near the end of the 31 laps that are before us here in Singapore. But an almighty race so far in Marina Bay, as Jeremy Clarkson closing up to Meyer. Red Bull versus Mercedes. There's a familiar tune. Interesting line there. Meyer hits the bridge, hits the barrier in the bridge, and goes sideways. Now they're side by side. A little bit of ghosting at play there. And look at these two. And Jeremy Clarkson is ahead. The pressure was applied, and Meyer cracked under that pressure. Meyer into the pits. And wow, would that be the end of his running here, competitive-wise, Fozzy? Or do you reckon he'll survive to go on another day?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's the hard tyres that he's going onto. He's getting a wing change as well, so obviously a bit of damage taken from that unfortunate error, so to say, going through turn 18. Tane, as we also saw, came into the pits as well. He's now down on the medium tyres. Meyer going up to the exits of the pits. Is Cass going to be able to get past the Red Bull driver? Yes, he is. Remember, Cass had that moment in the opening laps of the race. We had to box early and go onto the hard tyres. Meanwhile, it's Daigoro and Bashi who lead the race, but yet to stop in the pits. Adam still on those hard tyres, still not happy with them either. Seems to be just having a few moments. Maybe it is the temperatures in this nighttime setting, but some of the drivers just, aren't able to get up to grips with. But look at Amir, he's right on the gearbox of Marcus. They both have DRS as we go down towards turn 14. Marcus has a momentary lock-up. Does that open the door for Amir to try and go down the outside? It looks like it does. Is he able to make it stick? Yes, he is. Amir gets past Marcus as Mastarius gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Maybe just cutting that corner at turn 17, Cameron.
Indeed, Marcus backed out of that. He knew he still needs to stop.
Oh, and look at Jasper and Tane. They're going side by side. Sorry, just to butt in there. I'm riding on board with Edu just to get a better view of this. But the McLaren and the Williams, we know this is bitter for the championship. There's no room being given there. Tane just gets past Jasper, but it's not over yet. Is Jasper able to take that back? No, he's not. But Edu goes, yes, there's an open door. I'll take that. Disastrous for McLaren as we have a yellow flag. It looks like Mastarius had an issue. Yes, he has, down at turn 1. Has he got any wing damage? I'm not too sure, but he had a momentary spin. Kangaskhan manages to get past. It's all kicking off here in Singapore, Cameron.
Jasper tried to go into the pits. He missed the first pit entry, had to come back across the line. He's got wing damage from that battle. It's going poorly for McLaren, and a bit of sour taste between McLaren and Williams there. Did either driver overstep the mark? That's not for us to decide. That's for the stewards, and I'm sure the stewards will decide either way on that decision. That's a report going straight there, and Liam Markin gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Edu, though, watching just the show unfold and picking his moment to strike and take that opportunity when it was provided. And Tane showing he's a hard racer. He's out here for position and is not willing to give any room at all, and that might just help Williams. But has Tane got damage as well, just riding on board with Edu? Watching Tane go through turn 9 there, he did look to struggle greatly in through that corner, especially the mid corner. I wonder if there is a lack of downforce. Got to see because of wing damage, and Tane almost getting it crossed up. Goes from the right side all the way to the left side of the track, almost bouncing off the barrier like a ping pong ball, but manages to keep it going. And Edu might just be looking for another gap opening up as he has closed up towards the Williams driver.
Talking of closing up, that's exactly what Merckx has done to Marcus, or I think that might be about to go away as Marcus dives into the pit lanes. The pit lane is not multiple. It's go on, Cameron.
Amir and Adam also closing up. Adam going wide at turn 1 once again, keeps it within the line. That's okay, but then goes wide at turn 2, if not turn 3, and that's going to cost him dearly. It's Amir alongside Adam. Adam needs to kind of hinder Amir as much as possible with his strategy to work out, and that hasn't occurred, and someone else is being hindered greatly. But Amir takes P3, or will he, as Adam is coming out on the outside of Amir and regains P3 on track, Fozzy.
Oh, but Amir does have to go a little bit wide there as he gets past the McLaren. Someone who was having a bit of an issue was Cass, and it's for the second time this race. If you cut to him, you'll see he's got no front wing. He had a moment coming out of turn 14. He's going to have to come into the pits as well. It's not going good for Cass, and it's most certainly not going great for Jasper and McLaren either. We really need to see McLaren get up there and try and get some more points for the team, but he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to make that happen tonight.
And Cass has retired from the session.
That is Cass.
That is in the pit lane. So hopefully that will not cause any issues, but certain drivers might be hoping just for a safety car to be provided via the game. That will close up the gaps massively, and those that have stayed out and haven't boxed yet, that is the miracle they'd love to see, as that allows them to get a free pit stop under safety car conditions. That move between Adam and Amir, interesting use of track limits, but there seems to be no giving back of position from either driver, so it seems to all be settled and fine. Marginal at best, but never mind. Mert closing up to Adam as well within that sort of a second range, and we'll have DRS down this straight, just closing within the second on the DRS zone. There's the rear wing opening up, riding an extra amount of speed down the pit straight, but it is quite a short straight and doesn't really provide overtaking unless you're very close to the driver. And into turn 1 there is the opportunity to make the move. Adam though on that hard tyre, even though 10 laps in, still struggling. Meanwhile Tane sets a 1:38.9 for fastest lap, and now Adam going heavily defensive just to the right side of the track. Will it be enough? Mert looking to go also around the outside. Slight squeeze from the Mercedes. It's clean, it's still clean, both cars within track limits, and importantly for Mert, he's ahead of that Mercedes car on the hard tyre, down 3 positions from where he started, but he is currently P4 and still within a shot of a podium opportunity. Adam's pace just seems to have gone away. He had that sort of close couple laps with the other drivers, but unfortunately seems to have gotten away from him so far. Meanwhile, what other close battles have we got going on? Quite a lot of spreading out of the gaps as drivers going through the pit windows, and there goes Adam around on the exit of turn 13, an unlucky corner, and then gets in the way of Kangaskhan, but that just shows the struggle that Adam is having, keeping that Mercedes W12 in line. The beast has not been tamed just yet, and it steps out for Adam, and that is costly. Will he look to box soon to minimise the risk of being jumped by other drivers later on, or will he stick to his strategy and hope that luck comes his way in the form of a safety car? We haven't had one just yet. We didn't get one on the opening lap, but I do feel a storm brewing, Fozzy, and that always has the potential for a multitude of yellow flags and intervention from safety cars, whether virtual or physical.
Adam does not box, he goes for another lap, but like you say, we are a third of the way through. Oh, we have yellow flag. Is that Mastarius around? It is, and Mastarius has lost his front wing. Has he got driving that car? Well, don't damage your gearbox by reversing into the barriers or doing that. That's certainly not going to help the gearbox. We have yellow flags in all 3 sectors. I think Edu's had a bit of a moment as well. Has he lost his front wing? If he has, disastrous, because he's got to go the entire lap with that damage. But it looks like, I think, Cameron, he has still got a front wing. So good for Edu, but disastrous for Mastarius, who's going to have to go throughout sector 3 into the pits. That's going to throw his strategy away. Oh, and he's struggling to keep it going in that Aston Martin. Really difficult. Yeah, will he get there? Indeed. He's got to go underneath the grandstand. He's going so slow, but he's causing yellow flags, and he's doing a bit of a chem block around the blocks of Singapore and the Marina Bay. He's looks like he's really going for a proper drift. Will he be able to get this to the pits in one go? Oh, stay away from the barrier. Visit Singapore. Visit the barrier is what he's about to do here. Luckily, though, he's got a lot of clean air behind him, so he should be able to get into the pit lane here without impeding too many people. Rather adventurous way to get to the pit lane indeed. But if it's all kicking off, you are watching Invictus Racing League, PC F1 League, sponsored by GTA Mega and in partnership with gridfinder.com and Driver 61, where we see Mastarius leaving the session and Adam getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Is that going to impact his race? I imagine it probably will, because he's slowly catching up, although there's a bit of a gap to Kangaskhan and his teammate Jeremy Clarkson in front as well.
Liam Markham was closing up to Edu momentarily during that period of which Mastarius was showcasing his dirt rally skills rather than his F1 skills, but meanwhile has since dropped back from Edu. That dirty air taking effect. Liam Markham, of course, with a penalty as well, so he has all the will in the world to get ahead of Edu and just get himself up the order, but a bit unfortunate with that lap 1 collision and a few other dramatics going on. And Edu, bear in mind, he spun on the final corner, lucky to not gain any damage. Missed the walls, just had the rear end but wanted to become the front end, and that doesn't work in an F1 car. And but he lives to fight another day as Liam Markham now dropping back massively. I am determined that he does have damage here, because this seems very out of the ordinary. That car looks more squirrely than a Formula E car. But meanwhile, Jeremy Clarkson closing up, 8 tenths between him and Mert. The medium tyres on the Mercedes and the hard tyres on the Alpine, driven by reserve driver, season 12 champion Exal Mert. Bear in mind, Mert was driving the Mercedes at the start of the season, potentially taking a challenge towards Kangaskhan, but And never mind, things have happened since, but 6/10 is what's happening currently between Mert and Clarkson. Clarkson closing up greatly through the end of Sector 2 and into Sector 3, especially this tight, twisty section. And will he have the run through the final couple corners? Bear in mind, Mert does have the AlphaTauri to contend with as well, ahead of him. And that might just give him DRS. And Jeremy Clarkson turns in nicely. Nice change of direction. And does he get DRS? I believe he does. And that's helping him into turn 1, but not close enough to make a move on Mert. Mert remains P3, but 5/10 between the two as Daigoro enters the pit. He was on that hard tyre and is now coming out on the, is that the Red Bull tyres there, Fozzy? I believe it is indeed, yes. So interesting change of strategy for the Ferrari driver. It's a long stint if it's a 1-stop. I imagine a 2-stop is on the cards. And Clarkson closing up again once more through the DRS zone on Excel Mert, but he's got Bashi ahead of Mert, and this could be a fight here, Fozzy. An almighty battle going on. I believe Bashi is yet to stop. Yes, indeed, he has not stopped yet. Done 12 laps on those medium tyres, almost 13, and that might just be hindering him a little bit more as Jasper gets by Meyer, who is currently in the pits. And this is the battle to watch now. Who will come out on top at the end of this DRS zone as we head towards it now? Turn 13 into turn 14. Mert gets a good run. Jeremy Clarkson missing out somewhat. Will he go for the move on Bashi? Looks for it to fake the move. Bashi holds his ground and maintains P2, but he is on that older tyre, bear in mind. Those old mediums will be feeling terribly now in comparison to even the hards, let alone the softs. There is a yellow flag.
That's a Red Bull.
That is a Red Bull, Fozzy. Is that Meyer? At turn 3, it is indeed. We had the nod of acknowledgement from Fozzy on my right-hand monitor, and it's still Bashi in P2, Mert P3, but look at the pace Clarkson is showing, getting too close to XR Mert there through the final couple corners now. Two cars will have DRS against Bashi. Bashi stays out once more. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb in this engagement here as the Alpine of XR Mert makes a move down the inside. Bashi holds on, and Mert goes around, and that throws him out of podium contention for the time being. Jeremy Clarkson into P3, but that is unfortunate for Mert. Don't know whether there's contact involved or not with Bashi there, but that is controversial at best, and that I believe will be another visit to the shoes room later on. But Jeremy Clarkson up into P3 with a 3-second penalty. Will he be able to catch in up to Bashi and overtake him on track without doing a 360 pirouette, or is that the star points we are going for this evening, Fozzy?
It's all been kicking off for the past few laps. Many incidents as you were talking there. Oh, Liam Markham struggling to keep it going straight. That incident with Meyer at turn 1, he has got a missing front left end plate, so he's going to need to visit the pits at the end of this lap. Edu had a moment as well. He's in the pits now for a wing change. Down at turn 14, he hit the barrier, lost his entire front wing. So that's why Edu's down there at the bottom of the grid. Just in front of Meyer. Look at Jeremy Clarkson, not Chloe Jackson, going for a move on Bashi. He gets a move done. That's a pretty good move. It takes him up into P2. Amir at the moment, though, quite happy up in front there. He's got a 9-second gap, Cameron.
Tane and Adam, as well as Daigoro, in battle once more. It's a locking of the brakes from Daigoro on the outside, but he gets the job done on Adam, and it's Tane who leads the train currently. Tane, coming into this league this round, has done an ever so brilliant job. Will he be able to hold on to the likes of Daigoro, who's on fresh softs, remember? He went from the hard to the soft tyres. It's Daigoro's time to push and get track position. Adam, meanwhile, is just struggling to hold on to this battle, this sparring match going between two titans of the sport, Williams and Scuderia Ferrari. And now Daigoro looks to gain DRS. Is this over for Tane, holding on to P6? Daigoro, the 66 car, up to the inside. Tane comes across. Tane just holding on to track limits. Daigoro alongside once more on the inside. Gets to pull a run. Tane excels in the acceleration zone there. Kangakon switches with Bashi, but this is the battle we're watching for the time being. Tane maintains P6. Daigoro into P7 is a slightly longer DRS straight now, and Adam is also looking to close in. Daigoro on the outside once more. Tane on the inside, and Tane squeezes Daigoro off track. Daigoro maintains his position, and now up the inside. Can he get the better run? No, this Titanic duel is going on. One more corner. It could be the entire lap. There's a squeeze from Tane. Tane forces the Red Bull. The Red Bull manages to keep out of the barriers, and it is the Ferrari Prix is ahead of Tane in the Williams. I'm getting all my teams mixed up, but the point is Daigoro, after a brilliant duel, is ahead of Tane, and that is the racing we like to see. Hard but fair, Fozzy.
And it's not over yet. Tane will get DRS again out of turn 13 up towards turn 14. Let's see if he's able to make a move. He does seem to be a little bit too far back. Whilst all that was kicking off, you saw, you heard Cameron say Kankan got past Bashi. Liam Markham had a crash and he lost his front wing coming out of turn 4. So he's going to have to go the whole lap again without a front wing. That's going to impact his race pace indeed. Back to that issue, train led by Tane. He seems to have got a bit of a gap on Adam now, so that'll give him a little bit of comfort, but he's got Daigoro in front of him. Will he be able to get close enough to capture any DRS? No, he's just outside of the DRS detection. Oh, no, he has got DRS. It's updated now and he has got DRS, has Tane, and he'll get a little bit more DRS out of turn 5 as well. And if he can keep it together through these few corners, he should have the grip to be able to get past Daigoro, although Daigoro is on the soft tyres. Let's see what gap there is as we come out of turn 5. And is it going to be inside of a second? No, Tane's lost a little bit there from soft tyres, helping Daigoro get a little bit further ahead.
But how long will those soft tyres last? When will the mediums be the ultimate tyre to be on? Daigoro trying a risky strategy. The softs will be sublime for the first couple of laps on them, but that edge, we've seen the cliff drop off here at Singapore, and that could just happen to Daigoro any moment. He's got to be careful of punctures as well as just a general lack of pace, but for the time being, those issues are outside of the Ferrari driver's head. It's all about having your head down and getting in those lap times in order to catch up to the likes of Mert, who had that spin earlier on, sparring with a couple of the cars, and Daigoro actually taking a very wide line on exit there, but manages to hold on. P6, 4.2 seconds to Mert. How far will he be able to go until he feels the pain of the overworked soft tyres on his Ferrari car? And Tane is currently still P7, 3.4 seconds to Adam. That gap seems to be increasing steadily. Bear in mind, Adam does also have a 3-second penalty as well. And just to give you a penalty update, as we watch Tane almost doing a cam block there out the underneath the bridge, it's 3 seconds for Jeremy Clarkson, who's currently P2, 3 seconds for Adam, 3 seconds for Liam Markham, and 3 seconds for Meyer, who sets the fastest lap on his Red Bull Racing Honda on the medium tyres, but that will not count as he's currently outside the top 13 and quite a while off any kind of points playing positions at the moment. But Red Bull seem to be the winners so far today. On the medium tyre, 10.5 seconds between him and Jeremy Clarkson. It just seems to be going their way at the moment, although Meyer obviously currently down on a 4-stop strategy is what the data is telling me. So he's currently out of contention, but safety cars could come at any moment in time. Fozzy.
Let's have a look. Oh, Merck's just gone into the back of Bashi there. I don't think it was hard enough to warrant any damage, but it just shows how close these two drivers are. The hard tyres of Merck's against the medium tyres of Bashi. Let's see, as we go over the Anson Bridge in just a few corners' time, if Mert can stay close enough to get a run on Bashi with the help of DRS. He's absolutely within range of DRS, but can he get the drive on those hard tyres? He takes a slightly wider line, back end just stepping out beneath him, but he's so close to Bashi now that surely this should be a fairly easy move, and I don't think Bashi defends that one too much. Maybe he'll be able to get him back on the next lap, but for now, merges up into P4 in the Alpine. As a reserve driver, he's doing pretty good in that Alpine.
Well, you forget, Fozzy, he's a reserve driver, he's also a champion here at PC F1 and was putting a fight against Kangaskhan in the early part of the season. He knows how to win races, he also knows how to drift his Alpine as well. It's just showcasing a bit of flamboyant driving from Mert as Jeremy Clarkson enters the pit and gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which he will either serve during the pits or at the end of the session, and that adds another penalty to him. Daigoro also in the pits. He went onto that soft tyre strategy, and that hasn't worked for him unless this is following a strategy of 2-stop, and it looks to probably be another set of soft tyres. No, it's the yellow mediums, and it's a new wing as well for the Scuderia Ferrari driver. The 66 car currently P8, but where will he drop to on the exit of the pits? P9 most likely. There's quite a lot of clean air behind him. Jasper's a while off just yet, but he is somehow in the points after having a quite interesting race so far. But there is your race lead on lap 18 of 31 of the Singapore Grand Prix here at PC F1 Season 13. The Constructors' battle is not over. It's Kangaskhan and Tine versus Jasper. And at the moment, it does look to be going in Williams' favour. McLaren were obviously harmed at the start of this weekend by only having the one car. It hasn't gone well for Jasper, but the race is still young, and there's plenty that can happen. We're yet to have a safety car or a VSC, and it could happen around any corner, any lap of this track. It's a track that is a brilliant track to master, but also one that definitely knows how to bite back, as many drivers have witnessed this evening. Just getting it slightly wrong requires full concentration at all times. And as we go into lap 19 now, or nearing the end of lap 19, 13 seconds, an almighty lead, Fozzy.
Yeah, really good lead by Mir. He will be quite comfortable with that. I don't think there's any threat of a DRS there. Bashi followed by Tane into the pits. Both of those drivers on the medium tyres. Let's see if any of them get a wing change or go on to different strategies. We're currently running P5 and 6 as Adam goes up into P4. Let's see where the AlphaTauri and the Williams driver come out at the end of these pit stops. For the AlphaTauri, it's the soft tyres. For the Williams, it's the medium. So switch up of strategy between the two down. I don't think there's any wing change for them either, so they're both out into the pit lane again. And there's the Williams driver still just behind the AlphaTauri as we exit the pits. But we've got a DRS zone coming up in just a few corners time, and I imagine we might see Tane trying to make a move on Bashi. That's Jasper just trying to get ahead. Can he get ahead of both the drivers? Oh, he's going to be side by side with Bashi. The medium tyres just allowing Jasper to get on through. Tane sort of stepped back a little bit. Bashi trying to go all the way round. Is it going to be a switchback? Will it be DRS? It will be DRS. And don't count out Tane as well. He's got a great view of this. Bashi gets past the McLaren. Is the McLaren going to lose both of them positions? I think he's going to. Tane goes down the inside. The McLaren fights back, pushes the Williams wide, and the McLaren going onto the curbs there. Bashi sees it all in his mirrors and goes, thank you very much. I'm going to scoot off down the road. The Williams driver won't be happy though. He'll be wanting to get past the McLaren. He takes to the curb on the inside line of turn 9 and manages to get a slightly better drive. Jasper pulls behind to try and get slipstream, knowing that he's got DRS and a long straight coming up on the other side of his bridge. Will be looking to make a move into turn 14. It's highly likely if he can stay within range of the Williams, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
No, Jasper is looking to also come under pressure from Daigoro. Jasper could have actually helped out Tane quite massively there by just holding up Bashi, but Bashi got around pretty quickly. Unfortunately, Tane didn't have the same treatment between McLaren and Williams. Their relations at an all-time low, especially this evening in this tight constructors battle. But it is Daigoro, currently 10th, 5 tenths away from the back rear wing of Jasper, and that could come down to a matter of, well, the Ferrari being ahead of the McLaren at the end of this DRS zone. And he will have DRS as Marcus jumps into the pits, and there are only one car on the soft tyre now, and that is Bashi. McLaren looking to defend the inside, fairly late move, but it's all clean. Daigoro looking to the inside, just wanting to get this over and done with. Jasper is on 11 lap old mediums, but he's driving as if he's on fresh sauce so far this evening, and holding up Daigoro massively. But here comes the DRS, and here should be an easy pass, but Jasper is deploying all of his ERS and some, and then Daigoro looks to go to the outside. Will he get the move done? It's close into the braking zone, and it's Jasper who forces Daigoro off wide. Both cars going wide on the exit of that corner. They're side by side once more. There's a scraping of the barrier from the McLaren. The McLaren still just about ahead. The Ferrari chasing down that position. Jasper getting out of the way, dodging his car out of the way of the Ferrari, and it's Daigoro up into 8th. And what a battle that is. Although there is plenty of gaps this evening, the battles we've had have been so close to the wire and so close to both drivers being at the maximum limit, as there is a yellow flag. And is that Tin going slightly slowly? Not too sure what driver that is, but it all seems to have cleared up now. Green flag running, so we are fine. But Mercedes have pulled wonders so far, P4 and P5 for them, and that is down 1 position, up 6 for Adam. And we'll just have to see if they're going to go to the end. Adam on 19 lap old hards, now 20 lap old hards, will be wanting to switch over to some soft rubber, but he might find himself at a better chance chance of maintaining his current position by staying out. Jasper, though, just falling back behind that second mark before the DRS detection zone, so unlikely he will have DRS here, as Tane sets the fastest lap with a 1:38.057. That's an extra point to Williams, who's currently, well, he's in P7, and that fast lap will help them in the Constructors' Battle. It might not be settled tonight, but it will look to be settled in the coming round. We only have one round left, remember, after this in Mexico, this season finale, and we might just have the Constructors decided there, or it could be tonight. But Jasper falling out of that 1 second range, but currently it's Amir who leads the way by 16 seconds in his Red Bull Racing RB16B, lap 21 of 31, around 10 laps to go. Will he hold on to the lead? So far it's been a dominant drive from the Red Bull, and can he make it to the end, or will the attrition rate come back to harm him, as Marcus has left the session, Fozzy, and wow, not too many battles going on, but Tane has certainly showed his worth this evening, hasn't he?
Yep, Tane really showing his worth. A great debut by the reserve driver down there in Williams, catching Bashi slowly, looking to make a move over the next few laps. That yellow flag is Edu, who I think has retired in the pit lane, so don't worry about too much. It shouldn't be causing any issues. I'm surprised we haven't had a safety car or a virtual safety car as well. It's all been fairly clean driving. A few instances of drivers losing their wing, but no one losing their wheel, which is one of the core components you need to get around the Singapore Marina Bay circuit. We're on lap 21. Oh, and that's Bashi bashing the wall as Adam gets a 3-second time penalty. That opens the door for Tane, who's going to look to try and make a move down into turn 1. We know it's a short DRS zone out of 23 and down that main pit straight, but I think the soft tyres just helping Bashi to get a bit more of a gap and prevent Tane from getting an overtake into this corner. But he will know that the Williams driver will be hunting him down Raffles Boulevard and out of turn 5, so let's see him ride on board with Tane to see if he is able to get past Bashi. He's got this corner which he just needs to get a good exit from. Bashi might get a better exit with the soft tyres, and does so, and it is DRS for the Williams driver though. That's going to help him as we go around the kink of turn 6. Not really much of a corner in a Formula 1 car. Tane has a look down the inside, thinks better of it, holds back. He knows he's got more opportunities for around the lap. Bashi knows that these soft tyres are going to be helping him to defend as we go around the Marina Bay circuit. It's a tight one, but it does help you when it comes to defending. There are a lot of straights, so Adam has left the session in P5. Will he be rejoining? Hopefully he will, because he's in a very good position for Mercedes with his teammate up there in P4 at the moment. Let's see if Bashi can defend into turn 14. We've seen many moves down here, and we know the exit of that tight, slow turn 13 is a difficult one, but it is paramount if you want to line up a move down towards turn 14. But the back end of the Williams just stepped out a little bit for Tane, and he wasn't able to get the driver he would have wanted, so it looks like it's going to have to be next lap around if you want to get past the AlphaTauri driver. Bashi would be quite happy though to see that Williams in his mirrors. It's P6 for him, and that's a very good finish if he can take that to the end of the race, Cameron.
Bashi up 8 positions from where he started, an almighty drive so far, and managing to contain the Williams behind him. But how much further can he go? He is on that softer tyre compound, but they will start to feel the pain very shortly. He's done 2 laps, now 3 laps on them, as Adam is into the pits. Down into P7 he goes. It's a new set of medium tyres, and see where he comes out. But Tane and Bashi look to do battle once more. We'll be heading towards the DRS section zone. There it is now. We'll have DRS as down this straight, which does provide a bit more chance of overtaking. Bashi going a bit wide, not getting the best drive there, and now will Tane be able to catch up and overtake the AlphaTauri driver. The AlphaTauri driver has been defiant in his defending. He's already regenning quite early on, and unfortunately for Tane has not managed to close the gap close enough, but he does stand a chance for another overtaking opportunity after the bridge corner, which is becoming infamous. Turn 13 on the exit for drivers binning it or smashing it into the wall this evening. And now it's all about carrying your flow through this section of turn 10, 11 and 12, using the curbs to stabilise the car rather than unstabilise them. Get as close to the barrier on the right hand side. That's concrete instead of Aramco. But now we go into the DRS zone. He will have DRS. This will take a lot of defending for Bashi to hold on to P5. Bashi takes the middle of the road, not giving much room to Tane, and now forces himself onto the inside, and it is Tane ahead of Bashi, but Bashi looking to fight back. Will he fight back? He makes contact with the rear right tyre, and that is a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Might have just crossed the line there. That's his first penalty of the evening, Fossey.
But for the podium positions, it all might be about to switch up. Merck is just 3 tenths behind Kankan, and it is in the battle for P2. He's 3 tenths, and with DRS and the energy deployment she's doing, this should be an easy pass. Kankan knows he can't defend too much from this one, but he will know as well that he'll be able to get past in the remaining laps, and hopefully try and defend a little bit more with the medium tyres Van Merck. We're Mercked up to P2 at the moment, but it's not over yet for them two, as well as Bashi, who's going to be looking to try and make a move down Raffles Boulevard as well. Is he going to be within DRS range? Yes, he will be. He's 4 tenths behind the Williams driver, but he hasn't got much battery left. He's only got about 14%, whereas the Williams driver's got about 25. So he's able to defend that a little bit more. We've seen a determined drive from the Williams team today. Let's see if they can put a very determined defence in against the AlphaTauri driver, and I'm pretty sure Bashi will be wanting to try and get up to P5. That'll be one of his best finishes of the season so far. He's had some pretty good point scoring sessions as well. Most points he scored was in Canada. That was 4.
4 points for Bashi, but it could be more. It's all about experience. Some of these drivers are unfortunate to score very few points in the season, but their driving skill and ability is showcased each race, each round of this 15-round season. It's been a long season, a couple more rounds than last season, but all these drivers, especially those that have been here from around the start, have showed that they have what it takes to be race winners here. And meanwhile, Maya has given up on that dream and is currently retiring in the pit lane. So 1 Red Bull remains. It's been a bit of a difficult race for Maya, and he might have just had enough there. But under a second between Bashi and Tane. Will this be DRS? It should be for Bashi, and this won't probably be enough to make the move, but will certainly make them close for Raffles Boulevard being an overtaking opportunity. As Tane gets behind, or gets ahead of Excel.
There's Williams between them.
Kangaskhan now suffered a bit of a loss there, currently in P5. Is that new fresh soft tyres for him? I believe it is indeed. Yes, it is. So fresh softs for Williams. Kangaskhan relegates himself from the podium
Bashi's
position.
hit the wall.
And Bashi's hit the wall. But look at Kangaskhan and Tane. The experience versus the new gun. And it is Kangaskhan ahead of Tane. Tane looking to promote team orders there. But it doesn't matter. The championship has been sealed for the drivers. It's all about the construction for Williams now, but Bashi losing out on what could have been an almighty, audacious move into Raffles Boulevard, but unfortunately that clip with the barrier has sent him back down the timing tower. Still P6, but a whole lot of space between him and Tyne in the Williams. But Kangaskhan opting on to that 2-stop strategy here, and round lap 25 of 31, not long to go. Will Kangaskhan be able to push up to the likes of Jeremy Clarkson? There is a large gap between them. It's going to take a lot of effort to do so, unless the top 3 also box for safety to avoid getting punctures near the end. The top 2 have only done a 1-stop. That joins the other 2 drivers of this race so far that have only done a 1-stop. That's Bashi and Adam. So the 2-stop is more favourable by the looks of it, but will the top 2 hang on as Jeremy Clarkson gets another penalty? That's 11 seconds for him. What's the gap between Kangaskhan and Tyne? Hopefully we'll see shortly, because it could be a fact that Kangaskhan doesn't need to overtake him on track, just get close enough within that 11-second round. But now Tyne has lost that ground to the Williams driver, his teammates so far, and Bashi into the pits, and Kangaskhan 13.8 seconds between him and Jeremy Clarkson. That's not actually that improbable to get down, especially on new soft tyres. So Jeremy Clarkson could find himself off the podium, and Kangaskhan on by way of penalties come the end of this race. 31 laps is a long way to go, and so far we've done 26, not many more, but it's flown by, hasn't it, Fozzy?
It has indeed. Now, Cameron, tell me, how relaxed would you be in Amir's position at the moment? You've had control of this race for the vast majority of it. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Is that one of the AlphaTauris going round?
That's,
it looks like
Bashi, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like Bashi having a bit of a moment there. I don't believe there's any major wing damage on that car, so it all looks to be fine and dandy. But as I was saying, how would you be feeling if you were in that Red Bull up at the front of the race at the moment?
Well, he's got 16.3 seconds to Mert. That gap has stayed basically the same since I last checked, and that felt like about 10 laps ago. So that gap has maintained stability. I don't think Amir is pushing overall. He knows he's got that gap. What's the point of pushing the tyres? If you get away with the one stop, that'll help him. As soon as you bring in going to the pits once more, you bring a whole new realm of possibilities, such as a slow pit stop, again a penalty on the pit entry because of speeding. It's just easier for him now. Just take it easy and cruise. He's got about 4 laps left to undergo, and it seems to be set on for a nice win for Amir, the Red Bull, one of the daring Danish duo who currently finds himself whereabouts in the standings. He finds himself in 17th in the standings, has not had a win this season, so this will be his first win of season 13, and that will help Red Bull massively. They never really have been near the front of the battle, and well, at least for tonight we've got one Red Bull definitely in the mix, and your favourite for winning this race for sure. Daigoro on the medium tyres hasn't managed to close up to tying, about 3 seconds between them. Look at all the gaps, no one under that second round. I believe Daigoro is in fact the closest, but look at Kankon though, 3 tenths out of that window for Jeremy Clarkson. So Kankon, at the moment in time, I put my money on him getting that third place position, and that means 2 Excel drivers being on the podium once more. The champ from season 12 and the champ from season 13, as he just dithers around that 11-second mark, teasing the timing tower a little bit there. But yes, Daigoro 2.8 seconds from tying, and tying, I still have to commend him coming into this season very late on, the penultimate round, as well as into a constructors battle, has never shown any sign of pressure or stress. He's just shown strong, defiant driving, and that's what you need in such a close season, and a season where each driver's willing to push to the limit and sometimes even overstep that mark. Fozzy.
Yep, absolutely. It's been a controlled drive by Amir up at the front there. Looking to be a fairly comfortable win for him as well, but there's lots of penalties throughout the field, as we say, including to Jeremy Clarkson. But at the moment, there are pretty big gaps between all the drivers. Everybody just cruising, trying to get to the end of the race and not make a mistake. We know a mistake now would likely throw your strategy out of the window, throw any positions that you have gained out of the window. We've only got about 3 laps remaining, unlikely to unless you wanted to go for fastest lap, you're not going to be able to box and then catch up and make any moves in that amount of time. So, like I say, everybody just nursing their tyres back to the end now. You really don't want to make an unscheduled pit stop, because that is definitely going to impact the race, as I say. But yeah, it's looking controlled for Amir up at the front there, as Bashi sets for fastest lap, a 1:37.3 at the moment, the fastest lap of the race on the soft tyres in the Scuderia Alpha Tauri outfit. Daigoro is probably the closest person to another car in front of him on track at the moment. He's behind the Williams, just going through the end, through the start of Sector 2. And I think this is St Andrews Road that Daigoro is coming on to now. Singapore is probably one of the easier tracks on the calendar to see as a street circuit. You look at somewhere like Australia, Cameron, and you might forget that it's actually a street circuit. Australia.
Yeah, Australia. Obviously, track changes to come in, well, hopefully next year in real life F1, and should have been this year, but never mind. So the pandemic makes things slightly difficult. But Kankakon just, still within that 11 seconds mark to Clarkson. Clarkson will probably be wanting to push it a little bit more just to ensure that he maintains that podium position that he's currently on. And yes, unfortunately for Marcus, about a minute down from the next nearest driver, so hasn't gone his way in the race here in Singapore. And with a couple more rounds, well, just one more round to go after this season has flown by, and it's insane. This is the first season that Fozzy and I have commentated on right from the start. Last season we joined halfway through in PC F2, and it has been a pleasure to commentate, but boy oh boy, hasn't it gone so quickly. It's like, I remember we were doing our first round, and now here we are on the penultimate round, and Daigoro closing up though, 1.9 seconds between him and the Williams ahead. It's a Williams 4.5 at the moment. That could be a Williams 4.6 if Daigoro can arrive on the scene with enough time left. 12.3 seconds though, Fozzy, between Amir and Mert. Now that was 16 seconds and was around that area for quite a while, so it makes me think that Amir has gone into tyre conservation mode and is just wanting to get to the end. As long as he doesn't get any penalties or anything like that, then he will be on for the win. But it just shows that maybe Mert has stepped up the pace just in case Amir has a puncture or has failure near the end of this race that would allow Mert to clinch another win. Obviously, Mert has had back-to-back podiums since coming back as a rookie. It's 2 P3s. This will be his first P2 since coming back to Invictus Racing League after his break, in which he sort of toured around the paddock, going to different teams here and there, filling in as reserve duty roles. And it's a pleasure to have him back in this league. Brilliant driver, has shown by his current performance so far. But 10.9 seconds between Kangakon and Jeremy Clarkson. Will Jeremy Clarkson take the podium, or will Kangakon get within that 11 seconds, maintain it, and steal the podium away from Clarkson?
Well, we've got 3.1 miles to find out at the end of this current lap. Like you say, it's in the 11 seconds now, that gap between Mert and Amir, but I really do think that Amir has got this unless some monumental error is to happen. He's got medium tyres with about 23 laps old, so we're going to easily get him to the end. The hard tyres of Mert, behind, also on the same tyre life. So on fairly equal tyre life, I would say they boxed around at the same time. But Amir's got one more lap to go at the end of this, and it should be a win for him as Merck negotiates his way through Liam Markham, who has been lapped, and Adam gets a 3-second time penalty. I think just cutting one of the corners there around turns 1 and turns 2. Lots of penalties down from P7 all the way to P10. Penalties galore around that area of the grid. But Daigoro is still the closest driver on the grid to another car in front of him. He's just over 1 second now to Williams' driver in front, so if he can bring that down, he might get DRS and might be able to get a move on the Williams driver, both of which don't have any penalties, and they've both got fairly equal tyres as well, both on the mediums. Daigoro's is 11, and the Williams driver has got 10 lap olds, and yes, as you say, there is DRS, but there's not much ERS if you're Daigoro, so you haven't got a great deal of battery to help you get past, whereas if you're the Williams driver, you've got about 30% of your battery there as well, so you have got a bit more in your basket to help you defend. But will the Ferrari driver be able to make a move? We are on the final lap now as we go over the line in a few moments time. Amir down to 10 seconds, that gap, but he's got, like I say, 3.1 miles to go. Unless there's any major mistake, he should be keeping that gap and taking his first win of the season, his first podium of the season for Red Bull driver, who's had a magnitude of DNFs. Most points he scored was in Austria. He scored 8 points there. He's about to take the whole basket in a minute by taking the race win. The fastest lap at the moment, I don't believe, goes to him, but all eyes now on Daigoro, and keep your eyes on Adam and Bassi on the timing tower as well. Will they be able to make a move? But Daigoro is just 3 tenths behind the Williams driver now as we're on the final lap, going out of turn 5 down Raffles Boulevard. There's a little bit of energy that Daigoro's trying to get out, just get past that Williams driver, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it happen. Bassi gets a 3-second time penalty. It's going to turn to desperation soon for Daigoro. He knows there's probably only 1 or 2 main overtaking spots he can use on this lap to get past the Williams driver. As I say, none of them have any penalties, so this will be for position unless there is a penalty that gets applied on this lap. Both drivers trying to pick up the pace now. Daigoro, 12 lap old mediums. The Williams driver, 11 lap old mediums. He has got the slight advantage and is able to defend. That is normally an overtaking place down to turn 13. Doesn't happen, Cameron.
Amir wins the race and wins in style. It's the first win for Red Bull, and it goes to Amir, the driver who has not had a podium this season. He takes the top step in style, pure domination, 7.4 seconds in the end, but it was higher throughout the race. Congratulations to Amir. Is this a change of fortune for Red Bull right at the dying lengths of this championship season, as Tin and Daigoro still at battle now? Tin going around, or Tyne going around the final couple corners. It's close. I believe Daigoro, though, is watching that P5 slip away from him unless something magical happens, but over the line, Tyne takes P5 and Daigoro P6. Importantly, Kangakon takes P3 as well, so just within that 11-second mark. In fact, we've got about 10 seconds was the interval at the end, so it's Amir, Mert and Kangakon who are your podium finishers, and that is a wealth of experience there. Amir celebrating his first win, Mert back on for his 3rd podium in a row since coming back to Invictus Racing League here in Season 13, and joined by Kangakon, who took the championship last time out by taking P2, and this is also his 3rd podium in a row. A brilliant race, not one which was filled with chaos, but one which was filled with measured moves, which were and definitive defending as well throughout the field. Fozzy.
Yep, a lack of a safety car as well, which was something we expected. But Merckx, Amir and Kangaskhan on the podium. Soft, medium and hards, the finishing tyres that they were all on as well. We go once more next time for the finale in Mexico. But under the lights of Singapore, it's Red Bull that take the win.
Red Bull taking the win there. Oh, it's lovely to see, isn't it? Such a lovely podium, that indeed. But we head towards the final round, heading into Mexico next time out for round 15 of what has been a thrilling season. Now, it's heating up in the Constructors. The Drivers' Championship has been said and done back in Spain, but we go to Mexico to decide who will be your Season 13 Constructors' Championships. I, for one, cannot wait. We hope to see you soon. Have a good one, and goodbye. Take it easy. We'll see you in Mexico.